Virgin's Brilliant Lady. In this video, I'm going to share with you all of the vegan options I had on this 8-day Virgin cruise. It's been so much fun. The restaurant concept is really unique. Also, because girls like to dress up, I'm going to share with you some of my fun outfits from Rent the Runway. I have a subscription and it's allowed me to bring about $1,800 worth of fun dresses and some bags for about my $110. So I'll share with you that. And then at the end, I'm going to wrap up with some of my final thoughts on a Virgin cruise versus what we're used to, which is a Royal Caribbean cruise like the one that Mallory is on this week. Mallory, wishing you a really fun week on your Royal Caribbean cruise.
Hi, Jill. I cannot believe we are both going on a cruise the same week, and we both have the same plan of eating high raw, no or little gluten, and we get to compare our cruise food experiences.
That Mallory, she's so adorable. This first night we're going to the test kitchen and they rotate 3 different menus during the week and it is very cool. They do some very inventive things here. We got to eat here 2 times on the cruise. Everything on the right side is what I ate, all vegan. So fun.
Grab your spoon, have a little bit of your panna cotta, a mixture of sesame seeds and also some seaweed for you to enjoy.
On a Virgin cruise, if you are sober-minded, they have really nice mocktails every day with even each course. They're inventive, they're creative, and I've appreciated the mocktail options.
Sir, I will open now and 3, 2, 1. Just with the smoke.
Each menu has double V's, which stands for vegan, and there were always options. Very delicious. I appreciated the care that went into these meals. And this one here was super decadent. I did eat that gluten roll thing, but it was like a tofu-based cheese with the mushroom. So unique. And this dinner had like a tofu gnocchi and the sage that was kind of crispy with some butternut squash ribbons and dill. Everything. I just love this whole dinner. It was kind of like getting a vegan tasting, at a very specialty restaurant. So I was really happy. Plus my mocktails were fun. The vegan desserts are, now I'm starting to see what's kind of getting me because every night they offer beautiful vegan desserts and I'm eating them. On a Royal Caribbean, we were used to getting a free continental breakfast delivered to our cabin in the morning. On Virgin, they may make you pay $10 unless you get like a specialty coffee or something that has a $10 or more value. But I was still wanting to get my fruit delivered in the morning along with some coffee and hot water. And then it came with those delicious little like date and nut bars. And so I sort of saved those up and used those throughout the week. And here I am walking up in the galley where I would get my fruit every day. And so there were people behind the counter that would have to serve me. And I didn't usually have to wait very long, but sometimes I did need to wait to get this fruit, or sometimes then they would have these bento boxes with extra fruit. So there was always fruit on the ship, and sometimes I took some bananas off the boat when we went to port just to make sure I had some fruit with me. Still trying to eat fruit in the morning. You've probably heard about the red hammock on the Virgin cruises that are on all the balconies. Oh man, I really did enjoy the hammock. Very comfortable and fun. 10 seconds. This is another plus for me on the Virgin cruises. It are the classes that they offer for exercise, and there's just a lot more availability for treadmills and stuff like that. Getting ready for my daily salad.
Is there meat in the chili?
This bean chili that I couldn't find any walnuts in, but anyway, it was very good, and I actually used it as a dressing over my salad, which had a lot of good yummy stuff in it and some quinoa. And it just worked out really, really well for me to do that. Just a quick recap. Most of my mornings, I would start with fruit. This happened most of the trip until we got towards the end of the cruise, and then I started to switch it up a little. And the lunches were predominantly these big salads, and I started adding the vegan sushi, the cucumber avocado sushi, to my salad with the peanut sriracha dressing, and I was really happy with the salads. This Lily Pulitzer Skort or Romper is the first rental that I'm showing you because it had a very high rating on the Rent the Runway app. Over 230 women have loved wearing this. So it was an easy pick to take on this trip. At $160, $168 retail, I could have chosen to purchase this one for $59, which is 64% off the original price. Sometimes I buy things when I get them, but most often I just rent them again if I like them. If you didn't know, Virgin Cruises are adult only, no children allowed. On this cruise, we're celebrating my dad's 89th birthday, so of course we had to have matching outfits. I love it. Here we are at this steakhouse called The Wake. There is one dinner option for me here. It is a polenta with a wonderful creamy sauce and spinach. I asked for some steamed asparagus, and they plated that very nicely for me as an appetizer. And here is that crispy polenta, and it was phenomenal. Crispy on the outside and soft and creamy on the inside with the sauce and the thinly sliced radish and dill. I loved it, but it's also kind of rich. Here is the dessert for the evening, coconut panna cotta, which is kind of like a flan or creme brulee, very creamy soft. I think next time I cruise, I will buy a drink package for fresh juices and mocktails.
Jill, I've been getting fresh juices 2 to 3 times a day, and right now I have a cucumber and a grapefruit juice.
Fresh coconut water was $10. Loved it. Here's another thing different about a Virgin cruise than a Royal are these little wristbands to get into your room or to buy anything. You just wear them all the time and they're waterproof. Virgin offers a lot of grab and goes in these nice reusable containers. They pride themselves on being sustainable and not having a lot of paper on board. Many compliments on this cute little fish purse by the designer named Simon Miller. This is a magnetic closure, big enough for all the essentials, and it really went with a lot of things. I really like this rental. Fun coincidence, I'm reading this really good beach book, and the next day after I got a compliment on the purse, I'm opening up my book, and there it is, the designer name. I ordered 2 dishes from this noodle around during the course of the cruise, this mushroom pad thai, and I kind of missed the vegetables here. It was very delicious, but also pretty oily, and probably not my best choice, trying to avoid a lot of oil. Just a couple FYIs on a Virgin cruise would be the lighting in the cabin. It's not ideal for readings. Maybe bring a book light. Also for sitting, they really only just have one chair. And then they have like a little stool for under the makeup table here. Not great lighting for the makeup area either, just saying. Plenty of other, like the closet was nice and roomy and a lot of drawer space. I buy these little metal hooks that just like behind me there for extra. Those I just got on Amazon for cheap. And those are just nice to bring on a cruise. Tonight's dinner is at Rojo by Razzle Dazzle, a Spanish-inspired restaurant. And my appetizer here was very delicious, cauliflower with raisins and Marcona almonds. This main course from Rojo happened to be probably my favorite of the week so far. And the pairing with the red onion and the way it was plated and the sauces over it, man, it was just absolutely perfect. I really enjoyed it. For dessert, I opted for of course, vegan rice pudding. This vegan almond acai panna cotta was available at the suite area in the galley, so I ate about 5 of these. Very yummy, along with those little almond date bars I had. Here we are entering the Korean barbecue restaurant called Gumbae, and you have a shared table where you get to cook the food. We had so much fun. I wish if I would have done a Virgin again, I would have booked the Gumbae restaurant experience kind of earlier in the week because we met so many nice people at our table. having so much fun. I was forgetting to take pictures of the menu here, but I tried such a wonderful variety of foods this night. The cucumber salad was delicious, a lot of vegetables for me, and the dessert was a nice chocolate and vanilla soft serve that was made with almond milk. So everybody got that night. Here we are walking into the Mexican themed restaurant, Pink Agave. And the restaurant theme is so fun, but one thing I'm glad we figured out before we did this Virgin Cruise is that you need to stay up till midnight, the night they open the app, to book your reservations for the dining and also the entertainment. I watched some other videos of people who did not know that. We sat next to someone who was eating like at 9 o'clock every night. So if you take a Virgin, you got to stay up and do that. I don't know what they put in this guacamole, but it was one of the best guacamoles I have ever had. And the squash, the chayote, it was so delicious. Also, we did get all the reservations we wanted. And I was so happy with our timing, and we got a nice variety. We only went back to like 3 of the restaurants an extra time. Everything was so delicious. I loved the restaurant concept, and I love my meals on the Virgin. That potato poblano relleno was so delicious, as was this dessert. So another amazing, excellent meal on Virgin. I am halfway through this cruise, and my tummy is just not feeling as clear and as clean. I'm sure Mallory knows what I'm talking about. It's refined sugar, and I'm not used to having that as much. I've been getting out of the habit of sugar. And that's one of the things that, the vegan world presents a lot of good desserts. At our retreat, we used, dates to sweeten, or pure maple syrup in small quantities. And here, I think it's more refined sugar. So this Derek Lam white jean jacket is another rental that I brought with me. It is normally a $345 jacket. And yes, I would like to own it, but it's just too much. So I get to rent it, and I'll rent it again if I want to. You can rent all sorts of things on the Rent the Runway app. I currently have a 5-spot plan for $110 a month, and I can pause my subscription whenever I want to. Here we are at Extra Virgin, which is their Italian themed restaurant. This minestrone type vegetable soup was very good, and the rice balls were delicious. And then the eggplant main entree, I just found a little bit too rich for me. They put the vegan cheese in there. It's just kind of gave me a bellyache. But I do appreciate how much flavor is in the food, and the presentation is just gorgeous. They had some sorbets this night, but I opted for the chocolate olive oil cake. But just look at that presentation. I'd give them high marks for how the food looked and tasted. I'm just a little more used to less oil and sugar than what I'm eating here. This day we went out to resort in Puerto Rico, and the rooms here were averaging $690 a night, which just tells you why cruising is a good value. Yeah, I didn't even like my lunch there anyway. But here's a good tip for cruising, and that would be bring your own little thermos, because when you get to your coffee tea station, or even the cold beverages, if you have your own thermos, you can fill up on those. And on this cruise, the sodas were included, which really didn't help my husband, because now he's trying to get off of soda. Thank goodness, that's not helpful. And the taco bar, I really wish they had rice and beans more and more vegan things, so I did mention that. This Kate Spade dress is normally $348, and I have rented it several times before. I just really like it. It's easy. There's a little extra snap there for chested situations, and there's pockets, and I like this dress. It's easy and summery, and if I wanted to buy it, I could get it for 60% off, but I just probably might rent it again. I really appreciated the size of this bag. It just worked really well for me to stick some snacks in, and with the magnetic closure on this one too. So I kept this one longer than my initial rental for it, which you can do, which is a nice plus on Rent the Runway. You can keep things longer. I rented this Ted Baker dress because it's red, and on Virgin they have what's called a Scarlet Night. So you'll probably want to bring something red. On Royal Caribbean, they had a white night and a formal night. Here, it's just I think the red night, and they had a pajama night or something. But anyway, the pockets are fun. I love the detail of this dress. And another thing I appreciate is seeing what other women say about the items that they rented, how they liked wearing them, and you could see pictures of what they wore with the dresses or whatever. You can also get sunglasses and jewelry. Mallory told me she was going to get some virgin pina coladas on her cruise, so I got one. It was a little too sweet, but still fun. And here's Mallory on her cruise with her family. So cute. Mallory is looking so fabulous at 37, and she is going to be our guest host at our Plant Life Journey retreats in June of 2027. She has been high raw, and she is amazing. She also wanted to dress up on her cruise like I did, so we had fun with that. Quick glance at Mallory's dinner salad on the Royal ship, and then also this walk around the track on her ship. And here's the Virgin walk around track outside. Those are so nice to have, places where you can go on the ship and just do laps, walk. Here's some random food shots. You know, the holy grail for us would be to go on a cruise where there's no oils, obviously vegan, and no refined sugar. Here are some more random food shots. I really did like the salad bar every day. And they had avocado toast in the galley, but it didn't look like the regular avocado that they had at the bagel bar in the morning where they had oatmeal. They had real avocado, which is coming up here in a minute. And I was just a little bit perturbed. And I've seen this in other places too that feature avocado toast, that they're putting something else in with the avocado to like thin it out or something. Or, I mean, avocado is not that cheap, so maybe that's the thing, but I would not eat that. Sorry. The last 3 days of my cruise, I got these whole wheat bagels that they toasted, and they had these lovely salty capers that were kind of large. Plus, that is fresh, real avocado right there. So I would make my own little bagel with the red onion and the tomato, and it was so good. Really nice thing about Virgin is that they treat their staff really nicely, and we heard that the staff gets free Wi-Fi, and our Wi-Fi was also included in the price, which is nice. I appreciated that, but it was nice to hear that they treat the staff well. And the seating is very cool. Like, if you see these like big, nice circular couchy things, try to get one of those. They put like these big terry cloth things over them, and they were so comfortable. We really enjoyed sitting on those by the pool. I found it in general easy to find seating on this ship. They had a lot of seating on deck 7 also, and that's nice. And if you remember to bring your little towel clips for the chairs or those rubber bands on a windy day, that kind of helps keep your towel in place. My number one favorite thing about a Virgin Cruise Line would be the restaurant concepts and all the delicious vegan options that they had at every restaurant. It was really fun going to a different theme restaurant every night, and I loved that. The red hammock on the balcony is really fun, and I relaxed in that red hammock and just swung and moved with the breeze many times during the week. So I really enjoyed that. The no kid thing is nice to be able to meet and talk to other adults. You're not interrupted. There's nobody that, anybody's kind of worried about running around or bumping into somebody. So I think it does allow for just an ease of a trip. On the Royal Caribbean line, I'm used to the Windjammer and the buffet and all the options that are there, and I kind of appreciated those options. It was a little more cumbersome for me here to, if I was going to pick a little something from this and a little something from that, I had to wait for someone to serve me. But to say something nice about that, there weren't a lot of people touching utensils, and children especially touching all the buffet utensils. We were being served only by the staff, and so there is something nice about that. When it comes to entertainment, you just can't beat Royal Caribbean. We haven't been on Celebrity. I hear that they're amazing. There were some good shows on this cruise line that we enjoyed. Another plus for Virgin, the free workout classes were a nice option. I appreciated those. As far as comparing the two ships, this is such a smaller ship compared to, my husband and I like the Oasis class. Those larger ships where you're walking through Central Park at night and you have the fresh air, the aqua theater in the back. There's a level of excitement. There's always music all the time on a royal ship that we're used to. There is a benefit to being on a smaller ship, getting to your cabin easier, and just you know, kind of more relaxed mode, not as crazy. You can run into people more often here on a smaller ship, more of a preference thing. We enjoyed both. We enjoyed both the Virgin and the larger ship with 10,000 people. Definitely this smaller, quainter ship has its perks. The last day of our cruise, and I'm wearing the same dress I had on the day we got here, and it's tighter. Desserts every night. Ooh, it's a little hard to zip up. But guess what? No regrets. I had a good time, and I'm looking forward to getting back home and getting more onto my healthy schedule. Smoothies and fruits and salads and plants. That's my plan. I hope to see you on your plant life journey. Thanks for watching. Thank you. And please like and subscribe if you like the video.